Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and today we're going to be talking about a very niche new programming language, and it is called NESFab. So why is this niche? Well, it is for a 20-plus-year-old platform. Yes, this, as the name implies, is a programming language for creating 8-bit NES games. Yes, the Nintendo Entertainment System. We're going to look at a programming language for creating games with it. It is designed with the 8-bit limitations in mind. The language is more ergonomic to use than C, while producing faster assembly code than C. Now, it's not going to be as fast as handwritten assembly, assuming, of course, you wrote the assembly code well, but it is going to be faster than C. Now, back in the day of NES, most games were coded mostly in in assembly, simply because that's the way you did things in the day. You had so little processing power that you had to make it work. So you can see an example of it in action right now. So you see the values being set. Here is the code to play a sound. Now you may be wondering, okay, what the hell is all this stuff? Well, I'll explain it in just a sec. You are working fairly low level here. Now, your entry point here, or your main, is this mode main, and basically forever loop. It increases the pitch, plays the sound, and then calls NMI. Now, what the hell is an NMI? I will explain that in a second as well. So if you're interested in it, the big thing about it is feature. So it generates better 6502 assembly code, that is the processor inside of a NES chip, than any high-level compiler tested, including GCC and LLVM. It is possible that NESFab is the best performing 6502 compiler in existence, which is very interesting. You've got other functionality like automatic bank switching. So in order to use memory, you used a 16-bit address space, but they needed more than 16 bits, so they did this by using banks. This abstracts away that complexity for you. It also has easy asset loading in there to make it easier to bring in your assets. You just plop them into your project directory, import a library, and you are good to go. There is also even a map editor named NESFab available. So if you're going to create your game levels, you can do that using this guy as well. And the downloads are available in both source code and binary. It has been used to create a number of games. You can see examples of said games available right here. So there is full documentation available, by the way, so if you want to learn more about it, sorry about the white blinding background. It walks you through the various different pieces, but it also links to some very important instructions as well in terms of figuring out what the heck is going on. So once again, this is an open source project. It is available up on GitHub. It is under the GPL3 license. It hasn't been updated in a while, so hopefully this is still ongoing. Last update was 7 months ago, but again, the Nintendo Entertainment System hasn't changed that much in the last few months, so you should still be good to go. In terms of what this is written with, it is 99.3% in C++. Now, if you're interested, there is this directory called examples, and in examples, you will find a number of, well, examples like this one. This is Hello World. This is the pitch playing one that you saw earlier on. Your file is as a fab file. On top of that, you also have to pass in this config file, which tells it a little bit of the setup. That is explained in the documentation, by the way. There are a number of different examples here. So, example, simple billiards game available right here, and you can see the logic behind it. But when you're going through this, again, you're going to notice a lot of small function calls, things like this, and then you're also going to notice, well, if we go back to the other one here, that was Hello World, you're going to notice things like this. So what the heck is 4015, I mean? Well, that is explained in two parts. You've got two main processors inside of the NES, the PPU and the APU. The PPU is the pixel processing unit. This is what draws graphics on screens. These are basically handled by writing certain values to certain registers. You can see various different examples here. And then our Hello World example earlier on, that was using the APU. So here you can see, again, these are memory mapped registers that map over to the APU. So when you write to a specific value like this, it does the description of the function over here. So that is explaining exactly what is going on here. So you see 4015 is calling the APU call to do this. DMC enable, length counter enable, noise triangle. So it's basically creating noise. So that's an example of what you're going to need to know. You are working at a very low level, so you're going to want to get to know the PPU and the APU quite well. On top of that, you're probably going to want to learn the instruction set. So those little two-word functions that you saw earlier on, they were probably instructions from the 6502. These are all documented and linked from the documentation for NESFab in general. So if you want to learn how to do low-level coding with an 8-bit machine as seminal as the NES, this could be an interesting pickup for you, especially because it handles some cool things as well. Like, again, the map loading, the resource loading, and that kind of stuff. Here you can see one of the recommended emulators available here. This has debugging support available for the NES. So FCEUX, MESEN, and Nintendulator were all recommended as emulators for running your NES games with debugging support built in. On top of that, there is this tutorial available. This linked off of their main webpage as well. This actually walks you through creating a maze game. So a little step between dealing with the APU and the PPU, has links to the relevant areas, including the NES Dev Wiki, where you're going to learn all kinds of things about learning programming at the low level. And then here is setting up that mapper file in your configuration. Over here, your first code. So there's your entry point. And here is how you load in a file that has been put into your project. So again, it does handle things for you that would normally be quite difficult to do, which is quite nice. And then get a bit of a walkthrough of how everything works, loading in a background graphic, and so on. So a full tutorial on creating your first game. And as you can see, it is like a kind of in between C and assembly level in terms of the code that you are looking at. You are working at a very low level when you are dealing with these old retro consoles, but it's a fun experience. And this is kind of how I grew up coding. So this is kind of where we were. It was fun. You got to play directly with the hardware instead of dealing with APIs in between. So it's a fun way to understand the machine probably a little bit better. So again, if you're interested in picking this one up, it is called NESFab. It is available at puppy.games/NESFab. I will obviously have the relevant links down below. Like I said, an incredibly niche programming language for creating NES games using something in between C and assembly. And the key thing that they've got, their big claim to fame, is the speed. So this is going to generate faster code than GCC or LLVM or other 6502 compilers out there. So if you want to create a high-performance game for a 1980s era machine, you can do so. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.